Hello everyone, Jeff with the Green Review here. This is the fall maintenance calendar video. The information right now is based on the average first frost date being in October. This information based on your landscape's first frost date in the fall. For the lawn, the northern areas, the best time of year to plant cool season grass seed is mid-August through mid-September, and you can install sod through the end of October. Continue mowing as long as the grass is growing. Thin layers of tree leaves can be removed or composted by just mowing through them and letting them break apart. Cool season, low maintenance lawns get one application in September. Medium maintenance lawns get September and November applications. And you want to stop the warm season grass fertilizing 1 month before cool weather will cause the grass to go dormant. Use a spot weed treatment rather than a complete lawn application of weed killer. That's the best way to get rid of weeds. Instead of poisoning the entire lawn, just do the spot applications. Use irrigation if necessary. Grass should be well watered entering winter. Avoid walking on frozen grass because it can damage the crowns, the stem part of the grass that sends out the roots and the leaves. The best time of year to core aerate cool season grasses is before the first frost in the fall. Cores 3 inches apart in both directions, as deep as 6 to 8 inches is best. For the flowers and vegetables, dig tender bulbs such as dahlias, caladiums, cannas, and gladiolas after the first frost so the leaves are dying back, and then you can remove the roots or rhizomes or bulbs, whatever that plant has. Wash off the soil, dry them in a warm room, and then store them between 40 and 55 degrees. You plant the spring bulbs such as tulips, daffodils, and crocus and hyacinths when the soil temperature is down into the 50s, which is usually after we've received at least 1 frost. After the ground freezes, mulch those freshly planted bulbs. Remove old stems from annuals, vegetables, perennials, especially if diseases were a problem. Non-diseased stems can be left for the winter interest, wildlife use if there's any seeds on them, or composted. Apply mulch such as shredded leaves, bark mulch, or pine needles to perennial beds. The best time of year to divide most perennials, including daylilies, iris, and peonies, is in the fall. After all the plant debris is out, add compost or leaves and rototill in your vegetable garden. Bring house plants in when the temperature is equal indoors and out. The water garden can be cleaned of leaves before the fish go dormant. If you necessary, put a net over the top to keep out the majority of the leaves, and then once the leaves have stopped falling, take out any extra leaves and do a water change so that the fish are in the healthiest water for the winter time. Turn off the pumps when the water temperature drops into the 40s. We don't want to have any of the pipes freezing, so we want to blow those clear and clean. Install a heater de-icer if necessary. If you're in an area where it's going to freeze over for more than a couple of days, the floating de-icer is set for around 40 degrees, and it'll keep the ice open, and so you'll have a gas exchange with the atmosphere so that it can be oxygen in the water for the fish. Cut down any of the perennial shoreline plants so that those leaves don't fall in and decay and consume oxygen while in that decay process. And stop feeding fish when the water temperature is below 55 degrees. For your trees and shrubs, transplant trees and shrubs when they're dormant. Pine trees begin to drop their older interior needles this time of year. It's a natural occurrence of evergreen fall color. Some people worry about their trees when they see all the yellow needles, and that's not a problem if it's a pine tree. Protect, or arborvitae for that matter. Protect young plants from rabbits and rodents by using cylinders of chicken wire or hardware cloth around the trunks. You can apply deer or rabbit repellents as well. Continue watering evergreens if rainfall isn't adequate until the ground is frozen. If fertilizer is not applied to trees and shrubs in the spring, do a soil test, and if it indicates you need it, or if the reduced growth indicates you need to do it, then you shouldn't exceed 2 pounds of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet per year. But this would be a good time to apply that for the trees and shrubs. Apply anti-desiccants to evergreens and broadleaf evergreens when the temperatures are above freezing so that they won't dry out in the winter winds. remove snow from evergreens as necessary in the fall. Hopefully you won't have too many snowfalls in the fall. That'll be a bigger issue in the wintertime video. Prune late summer bloomers, remove any deadwood and crossing branches. Remove old raspberry and blackberry canes if you have those plants. And the late summer bloomers, like Rose of Sharon, is one of those that, and some of the hydrangeas also are late summer bloomers. So they bloom on the ends of new growth, so you can remove and do the pruning at this time of year. Protect the grafted roses, where you've got a grafted plant on a rootstock. You put a hill of 10 to 12 inches of well-drained soil over that crown where the root graft is. Once that soil freezes, add another 10 to 12 inches of shredded leaves or other mulch, and maybe you have to have that in a rose cone or in a wire basket to keep all the debris, not debris, but leaves and mulch from blowing away. But keep that area frozen but not allowed to be exposed to the much colder air. General gardening tips: oil and repair tools and store those in a dry place. Take your lawnmower, power tools, and any other things you've been using over the summer to the shop for cleaning. And while you're there, pick up your snowblower that you left back in the spring. Sharpen your shovels and pruners, oil the moving parts and the wooden handles. Drain your hoses, tip over any containers or bird baths that hold water, or move them indoors. Take pictures of your flower and vegetable gardens for use in the winter planning for next year's gardens. And last, use sand, not salt, on paved surfaces for traction on ice as much as you can, so you don't have salt that's damaging your grass and your plants next to your sidewalks and driveways. And this is Jeff with A Greener View. Thanks for watching.